There is still another photon vault to break. We can't reach it from here. We may need to look around for a better vantage point.
The fruit of evolution. The fruit of evolution. The fruit of evolution.
All is I wonder how they're growing. Can you hear it? Shh. That's the sound of sprouting. Wow, such a rare species. It's my lucky day. I wonder how they're growing. I wonder how they're growing.
One last flare stone to go. There's a carrier lift nearby. Perhaps the flare stone is on the floor beneath us. We should be able to find Genshin soon.
Something about the carrier lift seems stuck.
Is that so? So this file confirms that they activate when hit with a strong impact to create the corresponding resonance effects. And this also answers my previous question. The Chronosaur... No, it was nowhere near enough. The Chronosorters shut down once they are removed. Plus, as artificial resonance objects, their capacity is limited. According to the Court of Savante researchers, there was a hypothesis that could potentially make them more powerful, the Second Resonance Awakening, which states the collision between two resonating frequencies might cause a Second Resonance Awakening. Yes, That fight has to happen to trigger a second resonance awakening for Genshi, so she may exert even countless chronosorters were made to collide with the Sentinel's frequencies, but they were no match. One chronosorter briefly showed the power to restore time before breaking apart. This proved that a second awakening can indeed improve resonance ability. The research log mentioned that all chronosorters were working in an overdrive mode. It's similar to how human resonators experience overclocking. Overclocking happens when a resonator overexerts their ability. No, it's not. Exhausting oneself will only result in destruction. In addition, I noticed another detail in these records. The chronosorters required manual control, while the Sentinel Jue appeared to be under someone else's command. In the only incident of success, just as the chronosorter was about to break down, that peculiar visitor gave, and the Sentinel successfully transferred some kind of energy to the chronosorter thanks to that order. Rover, do you...
Going against wind.
Genshin. Don't worry. Rover is special. The temporal disruption can't hurt him. Shh. I gave my word to be your pawn, and I intend to keep it. As your teacher and courtier, it is only right. And let's not forget, without me playing the Wayfinder for Rover, we wouldn't even have him here. Rover has a strong connection to this place. You need his help to resolve Mount Firmament's crisis.
But we already owe Rover a lot. Thank you, Rover. Rover, I will do everything I can to rescue the Sentinel as soon as possible. And we can finally talk to it in person. It will surely have the answers you want.
Let's cut to the chase. What did you find in Truthseeker's past, Genshin?
According to the Court of Savante's records, the Sentinel was As time passed and its condition worsened, the flow of time became unstable. Only the Sentinel's appointed resonator can restore its temporal mandate. Their records indicate a solution. To reverse the rapid aging effect from temporal disruptions, I must deliberately collide with the Sentinel's resonance power during combat, triggering my second resonance awakening. That will enhance my power beyond its limits.
Let's say you can achieve all that, but Genshin...
I understand. I share a resonance connection with Jue, but I never took the time to truly get to know it. Sentinel Jue has been guiding us since the city's founding with its wise words and well-crafted decisions. The temporal disruptions we face are just a side effect of its efforts to protect local people. Without the Sentinel blocking out tacit discords through its time manipulation power, Jinzhou would be a barren wasteland today.
So what do you plan to do, Jinshi? If the Sentinel's condition is indeed incurable, nobody knows how far the temporal disruptions will continue to spread. Today it's Mount Firmament, but tomorrow it could be all of...
If it truly comes down to that, I'll fulfill It's the only way to save Mount Firmament, protect Jinzhou, and help the Sentinel.
Have you thought about the consequences, Jinshi? Trying to trigger a second awakening by fighting the Sentinel, it could make you overclock at any moment. We both know what that means. You could lose your mind forever, or even disintegrate into dust. You don't want to end up like those chronosorters, shredded under immense pressure. On top of that, do you honestly... I can see right through your facade, Jinshi. You're essentially...
You're one to talk, my teacher. I learned from the best. When have you ever backed down from risking your life for what you believe?
Oh? I don't remember ever teaching you that. We all die eventually, but we need to stay alive as long as we can. Jinshi, you must live and inherit the Sentinel's power. Then you can save and protect the...
Changli.
Jinshi, I don't intend to stop you. I know you've made up your mind. That's why I brought Rover here. You may have already guessed it. Rover is indeed the hero who fought by our Sentinel's side during Jinzhou's early days. He is all evidence we've gathered points to this being true. If anyone can help us with the situation at Mount Firmament, it must be Rover.
Thank you, my teacher. Jingxi will keep your words in mind.
Lastly, we still don't know for sure how the Fraxidus is keeping our Sentinel trapped. This will determine if you can actually meet it face to face. Yes, it could be any of these scenarios. Lady Xingyi is already on the case. We should get an answer soon. The cipher key should be inside the stone chamber, behind its entrance gate. There is one more flare stone to work out. Let's get moving. Look, our last target. On those floating floor tiles. We need a way to restore them.
It's time. It's not working. We may need to follow a specific order.
It worked. The court of Savante set many traps here. They must have worked hard to protect Mianlong Chamber.
It's a trap! Watch out! Fluorescent shadows. Let it end. Take hold. Together we vanish. Take full. My blade.
Right one with the sounds.
Feathers incinerate.
Embrace the change. Take full.
I'm done with all 3 flare stones.
Good. Let's head back to the entrance. We should be able to access the cipher key now.
Cipher key.
Rover, take good care of the cipher key. I'm leaving the rest to you and Jinji. Please don't forget, I am your wayfinder. I journeyed with you into the mountains to ensure you meet up with Jinshi. From this point onward, I will be counting on you both to go and confront the Sentinel. This is all I can do for you. I'm here to guide, not intervene. Not to mention, the Fraxidus has been pestering us You'll need someone to keep them at bay. Yes, they've been constantly watching you, interested in your every move. By all means, please carry on without me. As for myself, I have a more fitting location to make my contributions from. Oh, speak of the devils. How rude. This is not how we greet people here. Allow me to demonstrate the proper etiquette.
Chun-Li.
Those artificers are nothing to worry about. Don't worry. Chang-Li has her plans. I don't believe we will run into more ambushes on the way.
Madam Magistrate, she's back! I must go tell Lady Xinyi! It's time.
The Mianlung chamber is open now. You could, before you go, there's something important I need to tell. Chang-Li was right. They use the Court of Cervantes' research to trap our Sentinel if they use the Chronosorters. Our captured artificer revealed that the Fraxidus sent a death squad to invade Mount Firmament. First, to place the Chronosorter in the Mianlung chamber while it was still operational. And second, to lure the Sentinel, although their death squad was no match for the Sentinel. By forcing its hand, the powerful resonance ability of the Sentinel would clash with the energy of the Chronosorter. What if the Fraxidus modified those Chronosorters, a whole bunch of them, pushed to their limits? All worth, but not even that was enough to take down the Sentinel. After the first hit, they set up modified flare crests in the Mian. It prevented the Sentinel from replenishing energy, and eventually restricted its movement and perception.
So, we must free this.
It would be a task more complicated. The people of Hongzhen have lived with the Sentinel for generations, but now, the Fraxidus want to capture the Sentinel. They won't just stop at Mount F. Please tell us what you know, Madam
Yes. I will tell you everything.
So the Sentinel is actually injured. And it's been getting worse. Madam Magistrate, you've already laid out this plan so far. It's always a challenge to decipher the Sentinel's intentions. But there were many theories about it in City Hall at the time. I couldn't fathom why it went through such great lengths to retrieve you from Mount Firmament and raise you within our walls. But now that I reflect on it, perhaps the Sentinel saw in you the potential to one day I just never thought you'd be willing to follow through with that prophecy.
It was here on this very mountain that Back then, I was too young to remember anything. But this time, as soon as I stood at the base of Mount Firmament, I felt a wave of recognition wash over me. Memories long buried resurfaced with sudden clarity. Lady Xingyi, I was born with my life, my everything connected to our Sentinel. But my duty as its appointed resonator is not the only reason for my decision. I'm following the heart of my younger self before I became Jinshi. The girl who used to laugh with pure joy as she felt the snow from Mount Firmament on her face. I am a seed born on Mount Firmament, carried by the wind to every corner of Jinzhou. But now, I've returned to my place of origin. It's time for me to take root and grow into something greater.
No matter what happens or what choices you make, please remember, the people of Hongzhen will always have your back. Mount Firmament has been stagnant for eternity. Perhaps a sudden crack of lightning is what we need to break through the fog of uncertainty that has lingered over us for far too long. Once you pass through Hongzhen, keep your eyes open for a cave on the northern cliff. That will lead you to a shortcut towards Mianlun Chamber. The place is directly under Mount Firmament's iconic loon-shaped cliff. I wish you two the best of luck.
just happened? I'm super sleepy. Are you sleepy too? Delicious.
Out of my way! Get what happened? Why is every...
No idea, but something must have happened. Stop asking!
Who's... What happened? Why is everyone running around? Hey, what are you doing?
No time to explain, mate. Goodbye.
Hey, what's wrong with these people?
They're here! There you are! Oh, thank goodness!
Quisto and Laveroon, do you know what happened here?
We came here especially to inform you. Something seems to have gone terribly wrong just now. Laveroon was saying you two are new here and you don't have many friends, so you might slip through the cracks. Haven't you heard all the stories like that? An evacuation is successfully completed, yet you only find out once you do—
Wait, weren't you the one who brought that up? Why is it so—
Hey, shut up!
Okay, whatever. The point is, you should come with us. Yeah, he said to get as far away as possible. Upward.
Oh no, it can't be that thing!
Whoa, wait, what? What? Hey, what?
We have to go find the Duke! You two just go and get out! Go on without us!
Hey! Be careful!
Attention! Please evacuate upwards and outwards, upwards and outwards. If you're already at the topmost layer, then try to move as far outwards as possible. Attention! Please evacuate upwards and outwards, upwards and outwards. If you're already at the topmost layer, then try to move as far outwards as possible.
They're here.
Just like I said.
What happened?
You're just in time. But be ready to run. Three, 2, 1.
This won't hold it for long. Find Neuvillette. Tell him the defenses are about to collapse.
Then what will happen to you?
Until he arrives, we're the last line of defense. The gate. How long do you think it'll hold?
That depends on us.
Traveler, I need you to head to the Opera House immediately. Farina will soon be meeting with the knave there. You must protect Farina, and make sure she doesn't spend too much time alone with her. Will do. You have my sincere...
Look! There are a ton of Fatilian Palais Mermonia people over there! Are you two the Traveler in Paimon? Monsieur Nervalet, though I'm sure he's already explained, this should be a mostly cordial conversation, unlikely to give...
Oh, so you two are the honored guests Miss Farina mentioned.
Of course, of course! How could they not attend a meeting such as this? I must always have 2 or more guests at my dessert table. Otherwise, the occasion would be too lonely.
It is my pleasure to make your acquaintance, Traveler. I have heard much of your accomplishments. I am the knave.
I've already prepared seats for you. Come, sit beside me.
Perhaps you two are unaware of how Miss Farina and I do things. You see, we actually recently agreed to get together for tea when we had the time. See this? This is a limited type of confectionery that Miss Farina simply adores.
Traveler, what do you think of this cake?
That's good to hear. So what Child said was on the mark after all. You do share... I wonder how he's doing nowadays. You must have heard, right? He's suddenly gone missing. I'm really worried about his safety, you know.
Since we're talking about him, I feel like I should add something.
Oh, so you're also familiar with his aptitude for fighting, Miss Farina. Oh, right. I almost forgot. Against ordinary people, my colleague would never be on the back foot. But alas, he just Coming from you, that's not surprising.
But I thought you would be happier to hear the news.
Of course, but it's still a bit of a shame. You see, I would have been far happier had I received this new...
Well, in any case, there's no need to worry. We know for...
Oh. And just how do you know that?
Because we've...
And where did he go after leaving the fortress?
Well...
The fortress of Meripede lies deep beneath the waves. Unless he pranced right out of the main gate, he must have had to swim for it. Ah, that is good news at least. His sister Tonya sent a letter to Fontaine not too long ago. Since he was Do you have any idea how he usually writes back to his family? Dear Tonya, your letter made me feel like we were still enjoying...
All letters tend to follow the same few formats anyway, right? As long as the contents are accurate, it doesn't matter so much how it's written or how it's worded.
Hold on.
I suppose this is also a sign of things to come.
Huh? I don't quite understand.
Have we entered into the next stage of the prophecy?
My thanks to you both. I will take it from here.
Sure you don't need a hand?
Quite sure.
Wow. So, what's your secret, huh? Let me guess. Nah, who knows? Maybe it's just your sense of responsibility.
Sounds about right.
Day may come when the prophecy is fulfilled, and the waters burst forth. But it is not this day! This ancient power could easily obliterate an entire race. A tsunami of fury would unleash endless catastrophe. This sentence is too severe. Forgive me for overruling it.
All right. Seems like the problem inside has been
Let me guess. We're safe for now.
Indeed. But
I win this bet.
Very well. It wasn't.
You made a bet?
We made a bet on the size of your entourage. Cloran thought you wouldn't come down by yourself.
I figured you would have at least brought a few people along for appearance's sake.
Shouldn't you have gotten used to confidential missions by now? That's just how the courts operate.
So what gift must the loser give? Tea?
He already has tons of tea in his office. I'm thinking...
That wouldn't happen to be a dig at my lack of legal...
Well, I'm sure His Grace doesn't consider the fortress to be outside the law.
I was under the impression the residents of a place like this would be uninterested.
That was obviously a joke. Anyway, you've still got some unfinished business to attend to in the open.
No need to stay here if you have a pressing matter. We all know you can't leave Palais Mermonia for long.
Thank you. I hope everything went smoothly.
I must say, we've spent long... Miss Farina, as the Hydro Archon, I am sure you understand the exact meaning of the phenomenon we just witnessed.
What are you trying to...
At this point, I don't think there's any more need to speak as diplomatic representatives. Allow me to speak to you now as just a Fontanian. Yet, here you are, relaxing, drinking tea, and eating desserts as if it's all nothing more than a few stray bugs. The prophecies hanging above our necks like a guillotine. Every faction is looking for a way to either avert the disaster or save their own. Even the orphans, but you? It beggars belief just how nonchalant and carefree you have been. From the very...
You're wrong. I've never ignored the prophecy, nor have I just been passing the time in self-indulgence.
I am not alone in my doubts, you know. All the children of Fontaine may be harboring the exact same thoughts right now. Oh, great Hydro Archon. How are you going to save them? Save us? How are the people you've sworn—
I have my ways, and I've been working on them for all this time. Even if you look down upon me, you have no right to judge me! Fontaine will be saved. Even if I still cannot see the true future right now, as long as I continue on as I am, I will be able to hold my head up high!
Then I ask you, Miss Farina, just what have you been working on? Where can we see it?
My machinations are just like the prophecy itself.
I see. As a god, the proof of your labor always lies beyond prying more. Allow me to be so bold as to ask another way. Would it be possible for you to tell us the parts of your plan that are not— Oh, that look in your eyes. Have you—
The emergency response plan.
Then allow me to jog your memory. Miss Farina, what is the purpose of your Oratrice Mécanique deck, and what do you plan to do with the massive amounts of indemnitium that has accumulated over the years?
The Oratrice? It's just like it appears.
So you also have no idea. If I'm not mistaken, I first caught wind of this when Linny tried to investigate the Oratrice in the Opera House. You see, even if that had nothing to do with you, then what could you possibly be— Oh, right. I almost forgot. Udex Nouvillette is not at the tea party.
Yeah, yes, that's exactly—
Of course I will. Although, I must say, Miss Farina, you seem quite Oh, very well. Let's stop that conversation here. There are still a few slices of cake left, so— Traveler, I heard that you were recently commissioned to handle a few matters on behalf of the Udex. Why don't you take an extra slice of cake? Those who— You too, Paimon.
Thank you. Oh, Paimon's super
If it's on my tea table, it must be
You're welcome. I'm sure the cake also felt greatly honored to be featured at Miss Farina's table. And I was merely catering— It is getting late. Why don't we call it a day? There are still a few matters that I need to take care of.
Very well. We'll end it—
Mind seeing me off, Traveler? We could use the opportunity to discuss Child before I must be on—
Paimon's coming too!
I'm glad that you were willing to come with me. Of course, Child was just an excuse. I have no interest in your deal.
That's what Paimon thought.
You lent your aid to the children of the House of the Hearth. As their father, I would like to express my Do I look like an irresponsible father to you? The House of the Hearth is That was all. Formal topics should be discussed in formal settings, and I know you just returned from the fortress of Meripede. Relax. I have no intention of trying to get anything out of you. Linny, Lynette, and Fremine are still there, and I trust their judgment.
They've all been working very hard and have always done all they can to fight back against anyone who tried to stop—
You mean Ridesley. He's a tricky one to deal with. It's unfortunate that Linny's so eager to prove him. By the way, and you can just consider this a— You are outside of our disputes, and the freest person in all of Fontaine, able to move around most
And that's everything that happened during the trial. Master Child was declared guilty and immediately transported.
Didn't he say he was coming here on vacation? Does he not feel an ounce of shame for all the trouble? Forget it. He did give us an opportunity. I will be meeting someone shortly.
Do you require help with any
No need. I will take care. I need to meet with Farina, the Hydro Archon. She is at the heart of Fontaine.
Oh? Come over here, you little critter, you! You dare to run from me?
My goal is just to discover the location of the Gnosis. But I didn't expect the chance to approach Farina to be handed to me on a silver platter. Anything left unguarded is usually just bait. But no one will blame someone for taking the bait. After all, it's just as I guessed in the second before I struck. In fact, this Archon doesn't seem like a god at all.
Who are you? And what are you trying to do? Please?
The fear in her pupils is genuine, so perhaps she's not bait after all. I left the scene with ease. Nobody came looking for me, and nobody could serve as a witness to my near assassination of Focalor. Not long after, my informants confirmed what I had guessed. After returning to her quarters, Farina quietly cried. There's no doubt that there's something wrong with her. I began to entertain the possibility that she is not the true Hydra. I have to find the Gnosis. If the Neuvillette hypothesis is correct, he is probably in possession of it. Alternatively...
Yes, Father.
My dear children.
News from the Fortress of Meripede. Master Child has gone missing. On top of that, the contacts and guards we bribed at the fortress have all gone quiet as well.
Probably the handiwork of that Wriothesley.
I'm afraid so.
This is a good opportunity. The value of a Harbinger is much higher than most would imagine. We now have an excuse to set up a meeting for me. I would like to meet the Hydro Archon. Oh, and I have an additional mission.
Yes, Father.
Tartaglia's disappearance was not a part of my plan, but I can use it to make a breakthrough. The initiative belongs to the House of the Hearth. My wish to investigate the Fortress of Meripede will be a front. Linny and... You should know the rest. Linny's group is quite close to you, so they wouldn't have...
You attacked the...
It wouldn't mean anything, even if you shouted it from the rooftops. After all, I've now had 2 chances to enjoy tea with Farina. I have to say, the leadership of Fontaine is even more inscrutable than I had imagined. I once surmised that I am a servant of Her Majesty the Tsaritsa. Over my years of service, I've learned how a real Archon conducts. Of course, that is all just how I feel. Gut feelings often do not... It is, however, quite amusing to me that after all... Don't you think Fontaine is quite intriguing? A catastrophe looms, yet many secrets have yet to rise to this. Ultimately, though, one must survive in order to do anything. You don't need to commit to anything right now, of course. I have a feeling that the situation will continue to evolve, and as your name is often connected with noble deeds, I'm sure we will work together someday. He certainly returned quickly. You must want...
Neuvillette, is it...
For now, yes. But this issue will prove quite thorny in the long term. I am concerned that... Thank you for protecting Farina. To put it simply, I used my power to force back the Primordial Sea. So as expected, the Knave has turned up the pressure on Farina. She's trying... Permission granted.
Whoa. It can't be... You can't tell us? Then then that...
If by the phrase, you guys, you are referring to Farina and I, then although I'm not sure just what you are trying to imply, I must clarify that I do not share her positions on a multitude. I believe so. The fortress has a long and complex history, and now another catastrophe will soon be upon us. I mourn the...
Huh? Why is it raining?
You may be closer to the truth than you think.
Oh? And what are you thinking? The dragon of... Huh?
Please do not be so surprised. Farina. Ah, my apologies.
We were just guessing randomly. We didn't guess right, did we? You're not...
You guessed correctly. I sincerely hope...
right. There's...
Please, go ahead.
Well, if you are the dragon sovereign of water, and you... Then since Fontaine's prophecy is all about seawater, couldn't you just use your power to...
None of the currently living dragon sovereigns in the world. They say that when the first usurper arrived on Tivat, they seized a part of the dragon's power. Today, that stolen power is...
There are 7 elemental archons and 7...
The dragon sovereign of water who lived through that era perished a long time ago. As their successor, I know In any case, I believe I will not be able to do much unless the archon disappears. Given the status quo, however, I would recommend finding another way to deal with it.
Oh, so even...
I still have some urgent matters to attend to at my office. If you have any more questions...
Please go right ahead. There's a place that Paimon wants to go too. Traveler, why don't we pay another visit to the Fortress of Meripede? We'll see you another time.
Take care.